Good morning. We are so excited to talk to you about Dan's vegetable garden again. It's now March.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. It's the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And I am excited because I've had some things survive the winter that were a little marginal, and these tunnels that I am growing in we'll be talking about allow me to get in the garden a little earlier than otherwise and plant.
So how do they work? How does this work? When do you put the
Sure.
tunnel up?
Yeah, the tunnels went up in the fall. So I
right.
planted these crops in September, and then the tunnel went up in October.
Okay, great. And now you've got lettuce and
Yeah.
cilantro. I can smell it. It smells so good.
Yeah, so we've got this lettuce, and I was saying some things are pretty marginal at their survival. This is one of those crops, and I was pretty shocked that this one survived, but I'm excited to be able to, it's regrowing now. I'll get a harvest off of this, a couple, salads worth of this spring before I need to transition this over, because I rotate all the crops around the garden. A different crop is going to be in this bed.
Right, so this won't be lettuce this year.
Just for the spring.
And you harvested this lettuce through the fall and into the winter, and then it slowed down when it got cold and drier under the tunnel.
Yeah, you can tell the soil is really dry. So right now, I just need to water this, and this lettuce will take right off.
And then you'll have a nice early spring crop.
Yep.
Cool.
And then the
That's great.
cilantro, which is much more hardy. This reliably survives here, but I still have a very spotty survival. So we'll see about if we can fix that this next year. But I got 3 harvests of cilantro this last year ago.
Yeah, I remember you shared some with me.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed it for weeks.
Good.
So, and then we've got this black plastic here. This was where you had tomatoes last year, right?
Right, yeah, you can see I've got the holes that I burned through for each of the plants, and then these were the T-posts for trellising, and I will move this to my tomato bed, which is at the other end of the garden this year, but I leave this in the winter because when I am harvesting in the winter, I don't want to get my feet all muddy.
Yeah, well, that's practical. It's a nice carpet.
Yeah, the only bummer about it is that it ends up being pretty compacted from all the foot traffic.
Oh, yeah,
Alas.
that's tough.
Yeah.
So then, so you'll move this down to the other end, and we'll take a look at that in a few minutes. Okay,
exactly.
Great. So this is your spinach bed, right?
Yeah, correct.
And there was a tunnel over it all winter?
Right. Spinach is the most winter hardy crop, and it would survive without a tunnel, but I did have a tunnel over this. And it's sad that we're only looking at it today, because when I took the tunnel off a week ago, I harvested, it was looking amazing, but the rabbits have gotten to it since then.
The rabbits are super bad in this neighborhood.
They really
I
are.
have terrible trouble.
We don't have deer as bad, but
right.
rabbits are really bad.
I know,
Yeah,
so frustrating.
So yeah, I moved the tunnel over to here because that's where I planted my first planting of salad mix, and I wanted to warm the soil for that crop. And also, I put the tunnel over it about a week and a half before I seeded my salad, so that I could warm the soil and get any weeds that might germinate to germinate, and then so I hoed it right before seeding.
Okay, so you warmed it up, cleaned it up, and then you seeded after
Which
that.
we'll look at next. But
right.
yeah,
so what's next for the spinach here?
Yeah, I need to keep the rabbits from eating it.
Right.
So it's still got leaves and detritus here from the winter. I'm going to rake this clean, and then I'm going to put down some frost fabric or row cover.
Right.
And I have found that to be an effective barrier that the bunnies don't chew through or get underneath.
Do you just need to put it on at night, or do you leave it on? You can leave it on all day, and that's no problem.
You can leave it on all day at this time of the year.
Right.
If it was warmer out, then I would be cautious about that, because the spinach, it's too warm for it. It does heat it up underneath.
It likes it a little cooler.
Yep.
So
right now it's fine.
So this you've raked up a little bit of this, and you'll just keep raking it up, and then give it a cover, and
exactly.
It all should be good then.
Yeah.
All right, great. Let's take a look at the next spot.
Cool.
And here's the row of sunflowers you had last year.
Yeah, we had almost a whole bed of sunflowers, but like I said, we're planting new things in each bed, and so this spring it's going to be our peas and our early carrots. So peas like to be in pretty soon, and so I need to prep this bed, and the sunflowers are still here, but it's easier to rip them out in the spring. They're after the root systems have died back.
So it's a lot easier to take them out now than it was last fall.
Exactly. Plus I like to leave whatever is there as a seed for the birds over the winter.
Do you notice a lot of birds?
Oh yeah, in the fall the finches go crazy here.
I bet.
Yeah.
So cool. So you just grab them and
Yep, shake off the dirt.
easy enough.
Yeah.
So what do you do with all of the stalks once you pull them?
Right. So I like to keep as much as I can for the garden for nutrients. But so what I do is I just take these bits down here with the mud on them. I clip those and I put those into one of the city waste bags for the greens collection. But then the stalks I run through our little chipper that we have, and then the mulch for that ends up as mulch for the surrounding ornamental beds in the garden.
Smart.
Yeah.
So this is the tomato bed this year.
Right. We're going to move that landscape fabric from over there that has the holes in it and put it here. And in the meantime, this one is just here keeping weeds down.
Oh yeah, well that's makes a lot less work later.
Oh yeah, totally.
Right. And then here's your garlic for
Exactly. Yep, we planted this back in October, late October. Some people, for this region, Des Moines, Iowa, this is a good time, October, for planting garlic. It's hardneck garlic that's been growing roots all winter and is now up. Yeah, and this is the crop, that I planted in the fall.
Wow.
Hardneck, white porcelain, and right now, in the fall, after we planted, we put straw mulch down, and some bits of the straw matted, and the garlic's having a hard time coming through. So about now, I like to go and see where there's a gap, and usually the plant is underneath a mat of straw, and I just go through and free them. So this is a good time to do that.
Oh yeah, I see.
Right here's one, and they're usually yellow and curly, but they'll come back. They'll rebound after that.
So you just like to kind of free them
right
up. There's
here,
an empty spot here, so we're looking for one down there somewhere. There it is.
Yep, and right here.
Oh, there too.
Yep. So I just fluff it up right there.
And when will you harvest this garlic?
This garlic usually gets harvested in July sometime like mid-July, maybe third week of July.
Okay, and then you harvest the scapes.
Yes,
before
in June, because it's hardneck, it'll form scapes, and so those will come in June. And so I've got a lot of garlic. We're actually thinking about scaling back on our garlic production. I'll be honest.
It's hard to not grow a lot of garlic. I know.
Yeah, but
it's so good.
Good. Well, I'll give you some before the end of the day.
Awesome. Thanks for this tour today. I love this. There's so much going on here.
Yeah, you're so welcome. And I'm excited to show you what it looks like throughout the season.
I can't wait to see April.
Awesome.